Hello there, all you wonderful, beautiful ladies and gentlemen of the internet. It's me, your host of the channel, the Y2K Reviewer, bringing you a story video, another video where I talk about things I love. And today I want to talk about my retrospective and my nostalgic memories and heartfelt love and adoration and respect, everything for the Halo games, the Halo franchise. I love Halo to death. I've been a Halo fan ever since I was like 14, maybe 15. That was like 2008, 2009, maybe at the very latest. I was in this franchise ever since then. And I just want to share my journey of how I got into Halo, why I love it. Now, originally I was going to make a review of Halo Combat Evolved, but I figured that a video like this might be more special and more important to me and a little bit more wholesome and personal, and that's part of why I'm making it like this instead. I still might make a review of Combat Evolved, time will tell, but for now, I just want to share my personal experience with this franchise and these games. It all starts with a little iconic, huge game known as Halo 3. Specifically this version. Yes, this is the special edition version. Why specifically the special edition version? Why did I start the franchise with this game if I never played a Halo game before? I'm about to tell you that story. So it all started back when I think I was 12 years old. Maybe I was 13. I remember it being 2007. My older brother Robert got the Xbox 360 for Christmas of 2006. He actually had to buy it himself. And along with it, he got Oblivion, the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. And I remember watching him play that game and being amazed with it. It's now easily my favorite game on the Xbox 360. Fast forward, and I personally rented Sonic 06 from Blockbuster, and it's my first Xbox 360 game, and I played it. That was very frustrating, but I also played the Transformers movie tie-in game. That was pretty alright. Fast forward just a short few months later, I'm pretty sure it was either the spring or the summertime. I think it was either March, maybe it was, no, it couldn't have been, because I'm pretty sure it was right after this game came out. Maybe it was the fall season. I came downstairs to our basement one day. That's where the 360 was at the time, my parents' old house, and to ask my brother for something, or to talk, I think my mom told me to go get it for something important, or ask him something important, and he was with his friends, and all the lights were off in the basement. I remember that. And he had like a gathering, like his friends were over, like there was a bunch of people over. I remember that. And I remember going down to our basement, and all the lights were off, shut off in the basement, and we had a pretty sizable house growing up. The basement was pretty huge. So I went down there, and I was like, what in the world is going on? And I went to go see what they were doing. Maybe it was just wanting to go hang out with them out of curiosity. Maybe my mom had nothing to do with it. I can't remember. Anyways, the point is that I went down there, and I remember seeing the Halo 3 loading screen, that beautiful giant blue ring just on the TV with all the lights off, and I was like, what is this? And I saw I think if I can remember right, because it's been a while since I played it, it says Halo 3 in the right hand corner. I was like, oh my god, it's Halo? This is Halo? And I think I said that. I think I straight up was like, this is Halo. I knew what Halo was. I seen the commercials. I was familiar with it. But before the 360, all we had was a Genesis and a GameCube and a Game Boy Advance. That's all experience in gaming. From the Sega Genesis to the Game Boy Advance to the GameCube, this console blew my mind. The Xbox 360 absolutely did. It was the first huge mind-blowing console, which is part of why I watched my older brother play a lot of games, and I played them too, obviously, when I had the time to growing up. Like Assassin's Creed 2, Oblivion, and of course, Halo 3 here. And that's where it started for me. And a few months shortly after that, I dived into it and I played it. And this is the first Halo game I ever played. I played the campaign. I loved it. I don't know if I never played the multiplayer version except for with friends, but I did play the campaign. I absolutely fell in love with it. And I made sure to take good care of it. And in hindsight, this is potentially my favorite game ever on the Xbox 360, next to the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion and Fable 2. This game and that game and those three games, that's the trilogy of games I played a lot of growing up in high school. And yes, I played a lot of Sonic Unleashed and Generations as well in 06, but we'll get to Sonic 06 another time. This is the Halo episode. So, shortly after that, let's just speed that clock a bit to the year 2000 and I think it was 2008. It was just the following year. In the fall, this is definitely October, November. My mom signed me up for this no, it wasn't Sunday. This I think it was called like a youth center or something. It was with my church. It was like a community thing they were doing, where kids my age would like get together and just talk and meet. And yes, it was a First United Methodist church. That was the religion. And I met this kid named Tony, Tony and I became best friends almost immediately through another person, through another friend at the time who unfortunately isn't really my friend anymore, but he introduced me to Tony. And we hit it off, and we talked about Sonic for a long time. He was the first friend, besides another person. He was the first friend that I could hang out with locally in my neighborhood, like around where I lived, that was a Sonic fan, like me. And I was like, oh my god, I now have a best friend. but our love for Sonic, it was only the beginning of how he became my best friend. I was a very shy, quiet, nervous kid growing up that didn't really express myself too much. Tony was like the first person as my friend that showed me it's okay to express yourself and to be eccentric. It's kind of like those memes when you see I'll put a picture of what I'm trying to say right here. I don't know why I can't think of the words of the terms right now, but he was the first person to ever show me to like it's okay to be, to like express yourself and to like be cool and stuff. And he was cool, and he talked to everybody, and he was like just a good friend. And I was like, wow, this kid is great, and he's super positive, super nice. In hindsight, this is the kind of person you hung out with and nobody had anything ever bad to say about them, ever. And he was very nice, and I got to hang out with him, and that's how I got introduced to Halo 1 and Halo 2. Yes, these were his games. Now, these are not his copies, no, but these are like his games, like growing up. His older brother got him into Halo, and which surprised me, his first console ever was the Sega Dreamcast, which that was a big console to them too. He didn't have a Dreamcast when I met him, but he had an original Xbox hooked up to an old CRT TV in his bedroom, and Halo blew me away. I was like, wow, holy crap. I know this is a console before the 360, but I still thought the original Xbox looked amazing, and the games, maybe it's just, I don't know, there's just something magical about like seeing it on a CRT at the age of 14, and I freaking loved it. And fast forward a few months after that or so, my mom took me out shopping to Meijer, a local store in the Midwest. I originally here from Michigan, I think. It's a Midwestern store, yes. I'm pretty sure Meijer is all over America a little bit, but we're shopping at Meijer, and I saw Halo 1 and 2. Not these copies. They were the Platinum Hits versions, sold as new, and they were each, I think they were $15 each, if I can remember. I think they're either $10 to $15 to $20, and I asked my mom if I could get them. And to my surprise, she said, sure, all right, you can get them, Danny. I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, no way, got Halo 1 and 2 just like that. And I got home and played on my 360 right away. No, I didn't have an original Xbox at the time. And I love Halo 1 and 2 very much, but I love 1 a bit more than 2. And I'll talk about why that is. To me, Halo 1 is a game that I really came to appreciate over time. It's a perfectly designed game. If you don't like first-person shooters at all, if you can't stand them, if you hate them, if you think they suck, I highly recommend you playing the campaign of Halo 1 in easy mode as a first experience to see why me and so many people out there rage about this game. Because it's just a perfectly designed game. It feels good to play. The story is interesting and captivating. The music is gorgeous. The graphics hold up really well today. It's like sci-fi at its finest, and it just comes off as like, there's just something really, it just feels badass. It feels good to play. I don't know how else to explain it. And of course, yes, there is some relatability too. But the Master Chief is like one of those characters that's like, this dude's obviously a hero. Yeah, he is. And it feels good to play as him. It does. Now, Halo 2, yes, I mostly agree with what the Act Man has said in his Halo 1 in all 5 of these games reviews. Pretty much close to everything. Well, mostly Halo 1, 2, and 3. I don't quite remember what he said in Reach or in 3 ODST, but if it wasn't for the Act Man, I wouldn't have played these games fairly recently, and I'll get into that story a little bit. But he believes that Halo 2 kind of suffered a little bit as a sequel game, and I agree. I love Halo 2, and this is my best friend Tony's favorite game of all time, and I mean no disrespect to him or anyone who loves this game. And this game is iconic, and it's very important to the original Xbox, and it helped the console blow up, and it recently turned 20 years old, so congratulations Halo 2, it's going to turn 21 soon, it's almost old enough to drink. This, to me, is the worst, in quotation marks, okay, put down the pitchforks and the guns, just let me finish, the worst Bungie Halo game. Because it's still a really great game, and it's a great game on the original Xbox. However, it does feel rushed, and that's completely understandable. If you know the story behind Halo 2, you know why that is. It was a rushed product. Bungie didn't get to make the game that they fully wanted to for Halo 2. The E3 trailer was all smoke and mirrors. We all might be familiar with that iconic video when Sergeant Johnson's like, hey, all smoke and mirrors. Well, it was all smoke and mirrors. And it suffers. And when you look at the cutscenes, you know, like character models pop in and textures pop in. It's like, what the fuck? It throws you off a little bit, you know? I do love this game, and it does feel good to play and everything, but it just doesn't have quite the same level of care that Halo 1 had. And I think Bungie really wanted this game to have that, but they didn't do it. And it goes to show you that the story for Halo 1, 2, and 3 was supposed to be a little bit different. It still is. It's still an awesome story. What we got is fantastic. The finale is beautiful. Halo 3, I love it. It's a big part of why it's one of the best games ever made. But let me explain. Is that I believe Bungie wanted to do more with Halo 2 originally, and they just with the campaign. Because the way the campaign ends, it's like it's like a cliffhanger ending. You're like, what's going to happen next? Which worked because it hyped up Halo 3 a lot. And yeah, no, and the dual wielding is great. The new suit is awesome. You know, there's a lot about Halo 2 that there is to love. The campaign is wonderful. The Arbiter, come on, a fan favorite. I love the Arbiter. You know, and we're gonna get into that character later on in this video, but he is definitely a huge important reason why me and Tony bonded as friends. One really huge Achilles heel to Halo 2 compared to the first game is that the difficulty balance feels really unfair in Halo 2. Halo 1, if you play it from easy to normal to heroic to legendary, you can tell that like it's kind of earned as for you as like an experienced player to like get better at this game, because it teaches you kind of how to do that the more you play. It's like this unique design philosophy that a lot of the best games ever made do this, not just Halo 1, but when there's like different difficulty options, you're like, well, maybe I should play easy first, and then as I get used to the game, I should try a higher difficulty. Excuse me, I just finished breakfast. Alongside another game that comes to mind that does that is Ghosts and Goblins, or Super Ghouls and Ghosts, which I never played that franchise, but I am familiar with how it's designed on the Sega Genesis and in the NES. And I feel like I mean, I think I have another game that's kind of like that too. Like I can think of some Nintendo games that are kind of like that, like maybe Zelda or something. I don't know. When you beat the game, you play in like hero mode. It's like, okay, I played the whole game. Let's do this again in a bit of a more difficult challenge. Ocarina of Time's kind of designed that way, but Halo 2 is like it goes from like kind of fair, but when you play at Legendary, it's like completely bullshit, unfair stuff. It's like, what is going on here? My friend Tony and I played Halo 1 fairly recently on the Xbox One a couple years back on the Master Chief Collection. I said to him, we're going to play Halo 1 on Legendary and we're going to beat it. He didn't believe we could do it. But before that though, I think this is 23. I think this is a couple years back. Before we did that, my niece, my daughter's cousin, she played Halo with me. I don't even knew she knew what the hell it was. And as a joke, I didn't say anything. I selected Legendary. I didn't say anything because I was like, I wasn't trying to be mean to my niece or anything. I just thought I want to experience it and see what it's like. That's what I was thinking at the time. And she kicked ass. I could not believe it. I think she was 12, maybe 13 at the time. She didn't know. And I was so surprised that she was holding up really well. We didn't die. I couldn't freaking believe it. So that invoked me to like really believe, and that inspired me, like made me feel like I can do this with Tony. He wasn't sure, but we did it. We beat Halo 1 and Legendary. And I was like, it was kind of a breeze, honestly. And then I went back and played this game on my own in Legendary, and I'm having a hard time getting through it. I can't do it, man. Oh my god. I might keep going later on. But yeah, it's just funny that I'm now on the second mission, which is just called Halo, funnily enough, in Halo 1, and it's just like, oh boy, I gotta get through this somehow. I mean, it's awesome how it keeps you on your toes while you're playing it. If I can remember to, I should capture footage here in the video of me playing the game. It is a really well-designed game. And it is a masterpiece with no stretch of the imagination. And the only other game in the series I can feel like that like really complements Halo 1 the best, that's like a true evolution of this game, of like of like how perfect it is Halo 3. Halo 3 is truly a perfect game. You do not shun this game. Do not talk down. No. This game is so damn important that it influenced Metal Gear Solid 4. It did, yes, which I know a lot of people may not be a fan of that game, but Hideo Kojima played Halo 3 and he took some inspirations, or he took some ideas from this game and he put them in Metal Gear Solid 4. And after playing both this game and that game story mode, I definitely see it. Yeah, there's some epic stuff that's very similar to these two games, which is wonderful. So this was back in my high school days, guys, when I was ages 14 to 18 or so, and my Halo journey kind of ended with Halo 3 for like a while. But before I talk about the other games, there's one more swan song of Halo piece of art and media that I got into, that I fell in love with. That a lot of people that love the franchise on YouTube, on this platform, don't really talk about this collection, and it deserves a lot more. It's a very underrated piece of Halo media that deserves a lot more attention, that I'm going to make a dedicated video about very soon. And that, of course, it's not a game. It's kind of a movie. It's actually a collection of short movies. Think you know what this might be? Halo Legends. This, man, I'm getting a small tear in my eye just thinking about this. I fell in love with this when I watched it, and it deserves so much more than like what some people have said about it. I remember at the time we had this really asshole friend in high school. I'm not gonna shy away. His name was Dylan, and I'll never forget this fucker. He sucked. That he hung out with us because we just tolerated him, because he just wouldn't leave us alone. He had no one else to hang out with. It was very weird. I don't know why me and my friends tolerated him at the time, but we did. And none of us really liked him. That was a very weird time. But he talked down to Halo Legends. I remember that. He's like, that thing sucked. He was so wrong. I knew this is good. I knew this is a masterpiece. Even some people online do praise it. Not everyone talks down it. Not everyone says it's shit. No, but it's one of those weird pieces of art where it's like you have to be careful with what people say with a grain of salt, and you should experience it for your own. If you've never played a Halo game, these shorts are on YouTube for free. You can watch them right now online for free, all 7 of them. Check this out. It will leave you like feeling like, holy shit, man. It's some heavy stuff. You just be ready to cry a bit, because this is some heavy. You might, because there's some really sad damn shorts in here, but they feel so authentic and real and gritty and like at home with what Halo is about. This feels like a true sequel to Halo 3 in some ways, or a true swan song to the Bungie era of Halo. That's what this is to me. This is a true finale of Halo. After you played all 3 games, or 5 of them if you want to, or even if you played Halo Wars here, which I'll get into Halo Wars later on. It doesn't matter. If you played the Bungie era of Halo games, including Halo Wars, and then you watch it as like a true finale of the franchise, it's self-fulfilling and it makes sense to me. It does. And not to talk down on the other films, like Forward Unto Dawn and Fall of Reach, which I'll get to those in a little bit. But this is really damn good. This is what started, and it is. Check it out. My favorite short, I think, is still the Duel, which is with like, I think the 2nd or 3rd arbiter of the Halo like universe. And so, yeah, there's more than one arbiter of the Halo like timeline. But yeah, or what was it called? I think it's called Be Human. That, oh my, you want to talk about tear-jerking stories? Holy crap. Be Human was something that words can express that. When you need to, it's like Berserk level of sad. You just have to see it for yourself. You have to see it for yourself. I can't even. I don't know how. It's sometimes art. Explain how good art is hard to explain in words. Sometimes it is. It's hard to explain vocally without you, the audience, seeing it for yourself. If there's someone out there that's passionate about something and they say, "Witness it for yourself to understand where I'm coming from, to believe it." Take that advice very seriously, and please consider it. It is so worth it. You will not be disappointed. Again, it's free online. You can watch this on YouTube right now. All 7 shorts. I believe they're still on there. And also really liked The Babysitter. That one was great too. But like I said, all 7 of them are great. Yes, the one with there's one that's really lighthearted and goofy. And it kind of throws the tone off out of the other 6 shorts, but it's still really good and fun to watch. It's weird, but it's not bad. It's not a bad short. It's just kind of like, why is this the way it is? This should be a little different. It feels very like like Dragon Ball at its goofiest. That's kind of how that short feels like. It's like, okay, if you're familiar with Dragon Ball, then you might understand what I'm talking about. But it's still good. I liked it. I think it's called Spartan 1337 or something. But it's fun. He calls himself One Tough Mama. it's funny. But or is it? No, it's one. Is it? Did I say 7? Yeah, 1337. I think it was. I can't remember what number it was. But yeah, it's really good. Okay, so this was my swan song for like years. Okay. This is where I end off Halo. I was done with Halo after them. Now, my older brother, Robert, he did get Halo Reach at launch. And I did play Reach. I did. But briefly. And I mostly played Reach online with my friends at the time. I didn't play the campaign much. I only played like the first 2 missions of Reach in my high school days. I didn't really touch it. And he never got 3 ODST. This game is an underrated masterpiece gem. And we're going to get into that later on. But yeah, now, before we get into Halo 3 ODST and Reach, there's another game that came into my life at the time. I don't own it physically anymore because I can't stand current Halo, and we're gonna get into that later on in this video and why I feel that way. So I remember I think it was 2012, maybe it's 2011. My older brother Robert, the man that basically got me into Halo, besides Tony, or the person that did, I thought he respected the franchise like I did. I believed that. I really did. He was like, Halo 3 is it. This is the finale. It's over after Halo 3. That's where it should end. It was a beautiful ending. It was good. It's time to move on to more. It still blows my mind because I can't believe he was like, I shouldn't be, I'm not trying to be an asshole. Let me tell the story first before I give up my opinion. So, I can't remember what I was doing. I think I was gaming on Xbox. Maybe I was watching TV in the family. I remember being in our parents' old house's family room when he told me that, yeah, they announced Halo 4. Halo 4 is being made. And I was like, it's too soon. I was like, no, it's not. Why are they making Halo 4? I was not happy. He thought I was going to be happy about Halo 4. He did. He was like, no, it's going to be great. It's Halo 4. He was excited, but I couldn't believe it. And for the fact that it was made by Bungie. And he knew. Robert knew. He knew it was made by Bungie. And he was still like, it's going to be a good game. It's going to be great. And I was like, I don't think so. I just had this weird gut feeling by Halo 4 that was like, this is not going to work out. This is wrong. This shouldn't be made. This shouldn't happen. I didn't like the way Chief's armor looks. You know, it has an awesome opening. I will give it that much. But it just was. But even the opening feels kind of off too. It's like, no, this should be paced better. I never beat Halo 4. And again, but I don't want to disrespect that game or say it's a bad game or anything. It's not like that. It's not technically a bad game, but it's not technically a great game either. And all the Bungie era Halo games, even Halo 2 and Reach, which are my least favorites, I know, unfortunately, gameplay-wise, they're my least favorites gameplay-wise, are still really good, well-designed games in some aspects. They are. They have problems, you know, yes, especially Halo Reach, because, you know, Bungie made some weird limitations, but it's like, they still come off as really good, authentic, first-person shooter, sci-fi, futuristic experiences. They still make sense when you play them. They're kind of like Microsoft's answer to Metal Gear Solid. It's like this deep, complex lore-ish. It's not too complex, maybe, but it's like this deep, complex lore franchise with a lot. It's like medically futuristic, forward-thinking. It's also very like, and yes, of course, it's military futuristic, forward-thinking franchise. It's really good. It comes off as great, but Bungie had this like really great insight about like how to make these games and how things make sense, like physically and everything, and with like technology and science, all this stuff. Halo 4 just felt like, what the hell happened? Like all that was just thrown out the window to make something new. Halo 4 feels like this should be a different franchise. It should not be Halo. What Halo 4 should have really been was a story about following the Arbiter, the character of the Arbiter. If you know the story of Halo, Master Chief's journey was kind of over by Halo 3. He goes back into crowd sleep, and it's like, yes, you're supposed to kind of believe that he died, but he really didn't. And then maybe the Arbiter finds the Master Chief out in space in Halo 5 or 6. That would have been an interesting story, but no, we didn't get that. Instead, we got what we got, and it's weird. And I have little to no respect for 343 Studios anymore. I barely did for the longest time. And I didn't know this until like a couple years back because I watched, I think the Actman said it in his Halo 4 review or something. Microsoft did one of the dumbest business decisions they could ever make in their life out of the history of business decisions they ever made. They hired people who hated Halo to make Halo 4. What were they thinking? I mean, not to sound like a cliche or like angry video game. You're like, what the hell were they thinking? Who does that? You're gonna hire people who hate the franchise to continue the series? What in God's name were you honestly thinking? That is so silly. I would never approve of that. Oh my God, that's so stupid, but they did. And so he got me Halo 4, Robert did, for my birthday of 2012 or 13 when the game came out. And the Actman said this, I keep referring to him, that Halo 4 should have been delayed by 1 extra year and it should have been an Xbox One launch title. Yes, that would have made the game a lot more tolerable and a lot more enjoyable. I didn't beat it. I got up to the second to the last mission. Yeah, I know. I made it that far in the game, and I was like, I don't know. I'm just over it. I just felt I felt that way for like a while playing it. My friend Tony kind of had me up. He's like, no, I love Halo 4. You should play it. You might like it. He understands completely. Like we're friends. Like everyone has own different opinions. That's why we're called individuals. We all feel differently about things. And I'm not gonna sit here and say I hate Halo 4, even if it may sound and seem like I do. I don't. I wanted better for that game. I did, but I feel like that game deserved better. It did. I never really truly hate art or like a product when I understand like a story behind it and like why it turned out the way it did. It depends on what it is. But for like Sonic 6 and Halo 4, these are two video games, two pieces of arts that show you that they needed more time in the oven. If they had it, they would have been really great, memorable pieces of art. I do believe that. But no, unfortunately, that's not what we got. And sometimes being a bad piece of art, you know, it's not forgetful. It's not. It is still memorable, but not in the ways you want it to be. It's not enjoyable. It sucks. It's shit. It's unfortunate, but that's what happens. And yeah, I know it has good multiplayer and everything, and yeah, I didn't feel bad to play, but it just felt kind of off. It felt like there's definitely some Call of Duty DNA in this game. And I'm not the biggest fan of Call of Duty. I'm sorry, but I'm not. My friend Tony loves it. But there's certainly Call of Duty games I do like. I'm not going to deny that. But I'm just not the biggest fan of that franchise. But I was always a big fan of Halo and Doom. I love Doom. We're going to talk about Doom later on. But no, well, maybe. I don't have physical copies of Doom anymore. But we'll get into that later on. But, well, except for one game. Sorry, let me try to focus. Halo 4 is great. No, it's not. Halo 4 is okay. That's it. It's an okay game that has a lot wrong with it. It felt so un-Halo to me. The lack of Martin O'Donnell's music, the lack of the Arbiter being in it, for the fact that the game came out way too quickly after 3, or after Reach, I should say. It just, only 2 years after Reach. Only 2 years after Reach. That's a part of why I felt like, why would they do that? Why would they make Halo 4? Like, I can't believe it. But they did. And I had it, and I don't have it anymore because I was like, I can't play this game anymore. I just can't stand to look at current 343 Studios or Halo. I just can't. And then of course Halo 5 got announced. Oh my God, Halo 5. Oh my God. Oh boy, I was going through a really awkward, rough time in my life. My firstborn daughter just happened, but it was not a great and wonderful, happy experience. I was robbed of being a father the way that I wanted to be a father, so that sucked. And you know, that consumed my life. I also sold and rebought all my consoles and games at that time. And then the reviews came through, and I was like, okay, well, yeah, I could care less. And then I kind of moved on. I never played Halo 5. I did own it for a while, but I never really played it. I played the first mission. I was like, this feels good to play, but I just don't know if I'm going to play it because I'm going to play Halo 4 first, and I never beat it, so now we're here. But then there was a little bit of light, right? At first. We're going to talk about Halo Infinite, but before we get into Halo Infinite, I got to talk about where I got into Halo next. I think it was back when Halo 5 was kind of got announced, was coming out. I think this is either 2014 or 2015. I finally decided to pick up this game and play it. I think a part of why I played this game is because I was getting back into the Halo franchise around this time. Just for me personally, I got 360. And I was like, this is the beginning of the timeline for the Halo games. I should play it. And I was not disappointed. The team that made this, Ensemble Studios, I think they went bankrupt, or Microsoft shut down their division, which is very sad. I think this is like this game was like their last game. This is like their swan song game. Halo Wars is a really great experience game. If you have a PC or an Xbox or a current Xbox machine, if you have not played this game yet, play it, either the original or the definitive edition. And I'm sure Halo Wars 2 is great as well. I just haven't played it yet. But Halo Wars 1 is a wonderful, wonderful game. It is. It's awesome. It doesn't play like Halo 1, 2, 3, or 4 or Reach or 3 ODS. Halo 1, 2, 3. It doesn't play like these games do, but it feels like a Halo game. This feels more like a Halo game than Halo 4, which might make you think, what? How is that possible? Halo 4 is a first-person shooter. I thought Halo was all about being a first-person shooter. No, nope. There's a lot more to Halo than just being a generic first-person shooter game. A lot more. This game has the same soul, the same passion, the same charm, the same feeling that these games give you. Like, there's some goofiness to like Halo, and this game has that goofiness in it, which is what I love. It's like very slight, but it's there. And this game knows how to be a good game. That's what I'm trying to say. It feels like it belongs with Halo. Yes, it's a tactical game. Yes, it is, but it feels right. There's just something about it. It's not too complicated to understand. It's not too difficult to get into. It's a wonderful game. It is, and the characters are great. And it takes place, I think, 30 to 50 years before Halo Reach or something like that, but it is a good game. Hey, check out Halo Wars, please. And then shortly after I played Halo Wars, and I loved it, I finally got to watch these. My friend Tony, I remember back in high school, he was raving about how good this was, and I should have watched it back then, because he was right. I'm not sure how he saw it. I think he saw it on TV, and maybe he bought the movie, but that's Halo 4, Forward Unto Dawn. One of the best things to come out of Halo 4 is this. This is an awesome short. The best live-action Master Chief we're ever going to get so far. Yeah, seriously. Fuck that new guy. He's an asshole. But Halo 4, Forward Unto Dawn is great. I recommend it. Watch if you haven't seen it. It's awesome. This is the best part about Halo 4. In fact, it's so good I should watch it again. I think I only seen it once or twice, but it's so good. And then right around the 2020s, well, we were still in the 2020s. In the late 2010s, early 2020s, I watched this, Fall of Reach. I didn't never seen it before, and it's very okay. It's not that bad. It's not like Halo 4 okay. It's better than that. It's definitely the weakest link, I feel like, out of the Halo movies and like shorts, besides the piece of shit Paramount show. But this is not a piece of shit. This is actually good. And I also listened to the book on Audible. I can't remember if I finished the book or not, but this is very close to the book. But one of the strangest things about Halo, the Fall of Reach, is that you can see it right here in the helmet's visor. You see Master Chief's face. Yeah, I know. But he's not adult Master Chief yet. He's still a kid. So it's not too weird, but at the same time, you're like, I never really want to know. I wasn't ready. He just looks like a generic guy, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's fine. And I understand, like, it's been like, what, 20 years now, this franchise. It's okay to see his face by now, but like, I feel like this did it a little bit better, definitely, than the Halo TV show did it. It was not earned at all in the Halo TV show. The Mandalorian did it the best. That was how you do a face reveal. They should have done something similar to that in the Halo TV show, or at least give it time to breathe before we saw Halo. I thought we were finally going to see Chief's face in Halo Infinite in a way that made sense, but no, that never fucking happened. That never happened. And but I like Halo: The Fall of Reach. It's not bad. It's all right. It may not be for you. Halo in general may not be for you, but I liked it. I at least recommend listening to the book. It was good. So, guys, that's kind of everything, actually. I also have another copy of Halo 3 right here. The generic copy that I, rather play versus this, because that's special to me. But, I love Halo. I do, obviously. But, yeah, no, my Halo journey obviously didn't fully end there. Because the reason why I personally got myself an Xbox Series X back in late 2020, I think it was early 2021, I think it was around May or March or something, was because of Halo Infinite. I felt so happy and excited for that game. I already had a 1S at the time, I think is when I first played it on Game Pass. I fell in love with it right away. I did. I think I played the beta or something. I think I did. And the gameplay was amazing. It's the best Halo in terms of like the way Chief feels to play. It is. They got everything right, but it wasn't enough to save Halo, because everything that 343 did after that was like, oh no, we're back to Halo being shit. I can't remember the full details, but I know they kind of ruined the multiplayer, or at least the image of the game, and it's just so heartbreaking because I was following the development of Halo Infinite, and they got the OG Bungie developers back. They got some of them back for that game, and just knowing where Halo Infinite is now and how it became like this weird free-to-play experience game is just like, what happened to Halo, man? what happened to Halo, and it really put a huge damper in my heart. And ever since Halo Infinite's downfall, I played on my Xbox One and Series X less and less and less. I haven't touched those machines in like 6 months to a year now, and now they're gone. I sold them off. I did. The last game I played on my Xbox One and Series X was Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. That's an awesome game, but I can get that game on any other platform. I have on Steam, and I want to get it physically on Switch later on, and I will. But, you know, because I am a big fan of Jet Set Radio and everything, and yeah, it feels right to play a Sega game on an Xbox machine. Maybe it feels right to play a Sega game on any machine, or a Sega-like game. Whatever. I know I'm talking about Bomb Rush right now. That doesn't matter. But I'm okay. The game's great, but it doesn't matter for Halo right now. It's just because I don't hate the Xbox One at all. I feel really sad for it. It breaks my heart thinking about those pieces of hardware, and I'm like I can't do this anymore. I can't keep up with all the tragedies and awful news and stories and shit with what's going on with Xbox. They're falling apart, guys. I don't know what in the world Phil Spencer is thinking. For the fact, like, a lot of us out there, I'm not the first person to say this or to think this was weird or wrong or bad. He has this weird mentality currently. That's like, what are you thinking? He comes off as believing or thinking that Xbox is done, that the brand should just move on from console gaming and be something else. It's like, or that he generally believes that Xbox has just lost. He's kind of not wrong, but they had a good thing going, and then it's kind of just crashed and burned, and now it's done. And that breaks my heart thinking about it. And I loved the Series X. I loved the 1S, but like, I have close to most to all of those game experiences on my Steam account, on my PC. And you can say the same thing about PS5. You can say, oh, all PS5 games are coming to Steam. That's not really a good thing, because it's killing console gaming. And I'd rather play those games on my PS5, because it just feels more at home for me when I play a PS5 game on PS5. But for Xbox, it's like Xbox kind of just done, and I don't know. It's just it's just a part of like how I'm wired. I think I've just evolved from the 360 to PC gaming, and I feel like a lot of us Xbox gamers, or people who grew up with a 360 or Xbox, have moved on to PC gaming, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I would be totally okay if Xbox is like, that's what we're gonna do. We're just full PC now. I'd be fine with that. That's okay. It is. The reason why they make the hardware is because, oh, you know, it's for people who want Xbox in the living room, or their family room, or on a TV, and they may want a console experience versus a PC, which is not a bad approach in theory, but it's like not at all what Nintendo is like, or even somewhat what Sony or even Sega has done. Yes, Nintendo and Sega and Sony have all put the games on PC before. Yeah, Nintendo has. Yep, yes, they have. In the 80s, and it's very obscure, but they have in the past. 80s, 90s, and whatnot. But they're ultimately about console gaming, giving you an exclusive experience on their hardware. Microsoft is drifting away from that philosophy, and it's sad. It is sad. It's like you're killing off what you made, this legacy, this brand of Xbox consoles, and I just had to sit here and wonder why are you going this direction? I really thought about it. I'm like, it's just sad that Xbox is done, but I also know that they had to pull out from the Japanese market, and I think that really put a huge damper on their sales and on like what they think they should do moving forward. That might be part of it. Like when your console is failing in sales so much that you have to pull from a whole freaking region, from a whole country, from a whole like part of the world, that's damning. That's bad. That's really sad. That sucks. And you know, it was all because of Don Patrick and shitty ass DNR or whatever, or whatever the term is. It was because of Don Patrick and what he did at the time for Xbox, like what he moved forward with. Because he came in, he saw what Japan was doing with the 360, and Japan was making their own unique games for that system. And he's like, no, you don't want your own unique software that's catered to, you know, to your demographic, to your culture, to your country. You want Call of Duty. You want first-person shooter games. You want Call of Duty. You want all Mountain Dew, Doritos kind of like vibe, American Western stuff. And that killed the 360 in Japan. So now you know. That's sad, man. Xbox, they effed themselves over. Is it too late for them? Maybe. But I believe that Xbox and Sony should stop making consoles. Yeah, Sony too. and there may be somebody who's like, what are you talking about? Who are angry at me for saying that, but I think most and all of you know the truth, guys. We've been following the news. Like, if you've been following gaming as much as I've had, it's time to throw in the towel, to close the curtain. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with saying we had a good run. It's time to be done. 30 years is a long time, but I also don't want Nintendo to be the only console hardware manufacturer. So that's complicated, because if they were, they would be able to monopolize console gaming, and that would suck. They do need a competitor. They do, because yeah, absolutely. But Sega should have never ever failed. We're living in this really weird, sad timeline where it's like, in more ways than one. I'm very aware of real world events right now, which is sad to think about, but where it's like, I do believe that Sony and Nintendo should have joined forces, and Microsoft and Sega should have joined forces. That would have been an awesome outcome, but there's a reason why we don't have that. I know the whole story behind between Nintendo and Sony. You know, Nintendo made the best decision they could have at the time. They shouldn't, maybe going with Philips was a little shitty, but for the fact that they knew that Sony was going to backstab them financially, I understand completely. And then Sony felt like Nintendo backstabbed them, but it's like, no, you guys kind of did it first. It wasn't really Nintendo's fault entirely, but I digress on that story. So, where am I going with this? I'm rambling. I'm talking about too much at once. Originally, Halo was going to be a Dreamcast game, so that's another fun tidbit for you. But my point is that if we go in a direction where Microsoft and Sony bow out and close the current, which I think they should. I don't think there should be a PS6. I don't think there should be a new Xbox. I just think it's just too much. I really, really do. I mean, if they're completely backwards compatible, then maybe. But at the same time, it's like, no, you guys kind of reached the pinnacle of gaming with what you have now. I think it's just time to move on to, like, if you're putting your games on PC, you might as well just become PC gaming developers. It's okay. Like, just move on, you know? But if that does happen, I think it makes sense for Sega to come back, but I don't think they're going to, because it's like, I already know everything behind all that too, why they won't. There's a lot of, if you just research this stuff like I've had, you'll get your answers just like that about like why things are the way they are with the current market of gaming and everything. But yeah, I feel awful for Halo, and I made a little video about Halo Studios and how I wish them the best and how I hope that they make a good product. But I also know that Halo's coming to PS5, and that to me feels like a humongous, heartbreaking decision. You're being dramatic. It's not that big of a deal. No, shut the fuck up, man. Please, don't even start with that crap. Please don't. Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of us people who have been with Halo since the beginning feel betrayed and hurt by this decision. It's nothing against Sony or anything or PlayStation. I love all gaming. It's not like that. But that's like saying it's a conscious choice. Microsoft doesn't need to do that. But I think Microsoft just knows that they're losing. Like, that should have never happened, but we're here now and it is happening. And if you can't beat them, join them, right? That's part of why they're doing it. They feel defeated. I'm sure that's definitely part of it. And like I said, they can't even sell their hardware in like Japan anymore. So I mean, it's like, it all makes sense when you think about it. Why we're here now with Xbox? It's unfortunate. It's sad, but we're here. And this is a situation where I don't blame the consumer for this. I do blame Microsoft for this. Because with Sega's case, with the Saturn and Dreamcast, with everything that happened with the Saturn and the Dreamcast, we, the people, the consumers, didn't support Sega enough, at least here in the States at that time, to ensure them that they could keep doing this. Now, that was also Sega's fault too. It wasn't entirely ours. It was. I'm not gonna, especially with the Sega Saturn. I'm not going to deny that. It was their fault. It was. But the same thing happened with the Xbox One. It was Microsoft's fault with that machine, with them coming out with the VHS looking machine. The Kinect has to be used all the time. So does the Internet. That all was a terrible business strategy. The Sega Saturn being priced at $499, having this complicated like system where there's like a cartridge slot and a disc, all that stuff. You can blame Sega Japan for all that, but that's why it happened. It was rushed out. Very similar, right? It's like they're both Rush machines, or not Rush, but they just both came out and they were just like, what the hell is this company thinking? And they, you know, obviously a lot of people lost faith in them, and that's why these things happen. Nintendo's always been consistently good for the most part, except for maybe the Wii U, but they've always been consistently good with their image, and which is great. And Sony is going in a weird direction too. So I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I'm just worried for. I don't know how to end this video. I'm just saying that I am worried for current Halo. I'll always love Halo in the past. I might get another Xbox One day. I don't know, but for right now, this is where I am at with the franchise. I'm over it. I really felt like Halo was back. I was really into Infinite, and it blew my mind the game was an open world game. I fell in love with it. I really did. It was a good game at the time. The campaign's fine. Don't get me wrong. It's just I just can't look at the game the same way anymore. I can't look at Halo, current Halo, ever since 3 moving forward, or at least these games anymore. And for Halo 3, oh my god, ODST and Reach. Yeah, I got into those games around the same time. In 2019-18 is when I played them, and I love them. And Halo 3 ODST is severely underrated. It is. Check it out if you haven't. Oh my god, that game is so good. I'm sorry. And I love the campaign for Reach. And if you're curious about the Halo franchise at all, and you may want to check these games out, I highly recommend you, the viewer, go check out the Acme's channel and go watch his Halo review videos. They're incredible stuff. They're really well done. Like chef's kiss. It's great stuff. But yeah, I personally have a lot of awesome nostalgic memories of playing Halo 3 online with my friends Alex and Tony back in the day, and us goofing around with the freaking gravity hammer and making custom maps and stuff, and driving warhogs and just goofing around like most people did back then. And I thought those days would never die. I thought Halo. Well, no, I think at the time I was aware that Halo wasn't going to last forever. I think we all kind of knew that, but then Microsoft tried to make it last forever with just Spartans. No, forget ODST soldiers, forget the Marines, forget the elites. It's just Spartans. And we're like, that's what? It's like, what are you doing, 343? What the hell are you doing? But now we're here, and yeah, no, it was a good time. It was while it lasted, and I forgot to tell this. Okay, one last story for all of you out there. In 2008, my friend Tony and I were hanging out overnight. We were having a sleepover, and we beat Sonic 2 on the Xbox 360 on the Sega Genesis collection. I think it was that night. But we also finished Halo 3. This is the first time I ever beat Halo 3. It was with him. I waited for him to come over so we could beat it together. And we did. And it was fucking awesome. I'll never forget that day. I don't get to see Tony much to ever nowadays. For personal reasons, which is kind of sad. We're still friends. Me and him still talk and stuff. It's just it's this weird, insane situation. But I'll never forget the time me and him had hanging out and being close and being friends and bonding and stuff and getting into Sonic and Halo and other things and Dragon Ball and whatnot and Star Wars together. I'll never forget those days. I mean, we used to make goofy ass movies together with our action figures and stuff. They're way too inappropriate to share online, but they're funny. They're just like kind of cringy too, though, because I was a stupid ass high schooler. But it was fun. It was fun back in the day. And guys, thank you so much for watching this video, for listening to my Halo story. This franchise means a lot to me. If you made it to the very end, thank you so much for watching this video. Yes, of course, I hope for the best of the future of the franchise, but I'm okay with moving on from Xbox and Sony and just focusing solely on Nintendo console gaming and PC gaming for current gaming. But yeah, no. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I am the Y2K Reviewer signing out. Thank you for watching. And what's your Halo story? Let me know in the comments below what Halo means to you. I would love to hear your Halo story. Tell me it, please. Please don't be shy. Please let me know below what it means to you, how it impacted your life. Or if you're a new fan, if you're a rookie, if you're like, I don't know much about Halo, I want to get into it. Let me know what little experience you have so far. Maybe I can help. Maybe I can advise you like where to go. I don't know. Just tell me your story. I would just love to hear it. And if you watch this video, thank you. And I'm sorry that it went on for practically an hour, but it will be a little bit shorter than that in post, I'm sure. But thank you for listening to my story. All right, guys, how are you going to take care? Farewell, and till next time. Bye-bye.